Hello everybody, this is Sarah at the York County Library. Welcome. Today we are going to be taking something that everyone is really familiar with and transforming it into something else. So what we're going to be transforming today is a plastic bag. I think everyone is familiar with a plastic bag. So here's one right here. We are going to be taking this using a pair of scissors and creating plastic yarn or plarn. This plastic yarn can then be used just like you would use yarn in any other case. You could crochet, you could knit, you could weave, you could do multimedia with it or other textile projects. And it creates something that's water resistant and fairly durable. People have been using plarn and creating sleeping mats for those who are without homes, and creating reusable shopping bags for themselves that they can use instead of using more plastic bags. And it's a fun way to take something that you may have a lot of and turn it into something completely different. So where did plarn, or the idea for plarn, start? I have this book right here. This book is called One Plastic Bag, Aissatou Ceesay and the Recycling Women of Gambia. And this tells the story of Aissatou Ceesay and how she started to see that plastic bags were starting to litter the streets. People would use them once or twice and dispose of them, but of course they're not biodegradable, so they stuck around for a long time. Unfortunately, the plastic bags were then consumed by goats who would be sick. They would consume too much of it and it would block their intestinal tract. And unfortunately they would pass away. So she thought there has to be a way to take these things that we use once or twice and turn them into something we can use and reuse and get off of the streets. So she went around collecting plastic bags. She learned how to crochet. She even made her own crochet hook out of a wooden broomstick and started to make plastic yarn. Then she took it and crocheted it and made bags. Then she could take those bags to the marketplace and sell them. And that way she was able to pick the plastic bags off of the street, make Gambia beautiful again, and make them into something people could use. And through this, she brought awareness to the fact that, these plastic bags, they are litter. They stick around. We have to do something about it. And she made it into something very proactive, very creative. So if you're interested in this, you can put it on hold and check it out from the library. I highly recommend it. Again, it's called One Plastic Bag, Aissatou Ceesay and the Recycling Women of Gambia. It's written by Miranda Paul and illustrated by Elizabeth Zunon. I'll make sure to put the information for the book down below, and if it's available through digital sources. I forgot to check before I started this video. So we are going to take a plastic bag. We are going to take our scissors. You can optionally use a ruler if you'd like to, but I'm just going to eyeball. And then, of course, I have a little crochet hook, and so I might make something. So I'm going to show you how to make plastic yarn, and then I'm going to show you something I make from the plastic yarn, or plarn. All right, let's get started. Okay, so to start, I've got a couple of different bags. You can see you can use any size, but I'm going to start with this pretty standard size one. I'm going to roll it up like this. This is going to make it easier to cut. So I'm going to cut off the bottom of the bag, and then I'm also going to go up to the top and cut the handles off. So once you make those cuts, you see that you have just kind of a loop of bag left. So now I'm going to fold this back up, and if you need to clean up some of the edges now, you can. Then we're just going to be making 1-inch strips. So you're cutting across. You could use a ruler here to get uniform strips, but I decided just to eyeball it. Here at the end, I'm going to trim it a little bit, and then all I have left over are the handles, the bottom, and any trimmed ends. So now we have these loops. I'm going to slow it down now because now we're going to take our loops and connect them. And this is how we make our plarn, our plastic yarn. So I have these two loops and I'm going to overlap them. And then I'm going to push this overlap part and pull it through the top of the loop. And now we have a knot. I believe that this is called a slip knot. So there we have a doubled in length piece of plastic yarn. So now we are going to take another segment and we're going to overlap them. And so the bottom piece of plastic bag, the loop, I'm going to take that's overlapped and pull it through the top and pull through to tighten. You can always go back and look at how I did it, but for now I'm going to speed it up. So you just continue doing this, and you can do this with larger bags, just folding them lengthwise, cutting them into 1-inch strips, and then connecting those loops like this. And I would say that plastic yarn is pretty comparable probably to super bulky yarn. And super bulky yarn just refers to how thick a yarn is. There are different weights to yarn. I would check out I believe it's called the Craft Yarn Council for information on different weight yarns, or you could go to Creative Bug and check out Yarn 101. So now we have a little ball of plastic yarn. I'm going to make another little slip knot that I'm going to put over my crochet hook, and I'm just going to get used to handling it just like I would yarn. So the first thing I did was I took a lot of my bags and made more yarn. So I have some gray plastic plarn here, and I'm just doing a chain, a crocheted chain, which will make kind of a rope. And when I was done, I decided I would use that to hang up some of my art from my last video. So with the remainder, I decided I would crochet in the round and make a basket. If you're interested in the project I'm doing here, you can look in the description below for a link to a pattern for a plarn hanging basket. I didn't know I was going to make a hanging basket. I thought maybe I would make a shopping bag, but I ended up wanting to make something a little smaller, something I could use in my studio that I could display. So here you can see that as I was using the plarn, it changed colors because I used different bags to make my plarn. And then once I got it to a good height, I decided to make this little strap right here, and that is what I will use to hang it on the wall. And here it is, next to my artwork. And this is going to be useful just for me to throw some useful handy-dandy items in, like my little notebook. I have to say, my studio is coming together. Okay everyone, and that is it. So today we learned how to take plastic bags and make it into plastic yarn. And now we have a new material that we can use with our arts and our crafts. I chose to do something with crochet. So I got my crochet hooks out and made a little thing to hang up some of my art from the last video. There's my other art in the background there. And then I also made this hanging basket. And if you would like to make one of the baskets as well, there will be a pattern in the description below. And there will also be resources on how to learn to crochet, books from our catalog, books from our virtual library, and also some suggested classes on Creative Bug. And all of that is free with your library card. And make sure that if you're reading up about different crafts,
that you are joining in our Summer Learning Challenge. You can sign up at yclibrary.org today. Every 10 hours that you read, and that can be listening to audiobooks, reading together, you get a prize for your age group first time, and then an entry every 10 hours after that into a grand prize drawing at the end of the summer. So I hope you had fun today. I hope that taking plastic bags and making yarn inspires you to look around you and see things that you may throw out or recycle and try to imagine a new use for them. And maybe they'll be helping you out and adorning your walls. Okay, everyone. Well, that's it for today. So as always, friends, stay safe and stay creative, York County.